What is up? My name is Adrian from Rabona TV, and this is our weekend recap from the top 5 leagues around Europe, which, if you aren't savvy, are England, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain, in no particular order. If you like this sort of statistical recap of the weekend's football action, and you also appreciate bios on players like Sadio Mane, Romelu Lukaku, Paulo Dybala, Anto Griezmann, and more, hey, why don't you consider subscribing and saying what up in the comments section, because we'd love to have you come along with us every single day. Well, we don't publish every single day, but multiple times a week, 3 to 4. Cool, let's start with Mr. Grumpy versus the Podge. Because going into this one, Spurs were the only Premier League side that Romelu Lukaku was yet to win against. That's of the Premier League sides that he's faced more than once. Well, despite being horribly outshot and outchanced in the first half,
United rallied in the second and had more shots in a 3-minute stretch than the entirety of the first half. Lukaku came close when he hit the bar, and then he set up Anthony Martial for the winner. That was Martial's 30th league goal, his 19th for United. He scored the same amount of goals as he did last season, yet he's played 1,300 less minutes. And Lukaku took his Premier League goal involvement to double digits this season as he grabbed his 3rd assist, coupled with his 7 goals.
United are yet to concede a single goal at home in the Premier League. That's 13 shots that David De Gea has saved. And United have scored 15 in those 5 matches at home. So although they are 5 points behind City at this point, if they can translate some of that home form to their away form, then you really can't write them off just yet, especially since City are due to have a few cracks in their armor, and by that I mean their form, at some point soon. Surely they can't keep it going like this, can they? I mean, we're only 10/38ths through the season, as the men in Blazers would say, or 5/19ths. Speaking of City, they are still slamming it, as they went to the Hawthorns to take on big boy Tony P's Baggies to attempt yet another smack-up job in the Prem. But this wasn't a typical smack-up, oh no, because West Brom gave City a late scare to make it 3-2. Before that though, there was 3 goals in the first 15 minutes, with Fernandinho setting up Sané, and then later Sané setting up Fernandinho, to take Sané's goals total to 6 goals and 5 assists in the Premier League, meaning he's been involved in more goals than any other player in the Premier League at this point. However, across all competitions, Raheem Sterling has scored the most goals for Manchester City. No, I'm not memeing you right now. And the guy who set up Raheem Sterling, Kyle Walker, has more assists than any other defender in the Premier League since the start of last season. By the way, Raheem Sterling's former team, Liverpool, got back to their winning ways as they RKO'd David Wagner's Huddersfield back down to earth.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Sturridge scored his 2nd of the season, which was also his 100th career Premier League goal, 62 of which have been for Liverpool, 24 for Chelsea, 8 for Bolton, and 6 for City. Firmino scored the 2nd for Liverpool and assured he's still at the top of his game and perhaps the top of the league for shite celebrations. I personally find his pants down assassin to be the most shite celebration perhaps of all time. But anyway, Gini Wijnaldum scored his 18th Premier League goal, his 7th for Liverpool. Every single one of his 18 Premier League goals has been while his team was playing at home. I guess he gets some separation anxiety on the road.
Arsene Wenger took charge of his 800th Premier League match for Arsenal in the most Arsenal style, as they went 1-0 down at home, before turning it around in the second half thanks to Thick Boy Supreme, the Bosnian bull, Sead Kolasinac. He slammed in the equalizer in the 51st minute, and then 7 minutes later set up Aaron Ramsey to score his 50th goal for Arsenal across all competitions. By the way, Kolasinac has been involved in 4 goals in his last 5 matches with 1 goal and 3 assists. Looking like a steal. Well, it basically is a steal because they didn't pay anything for him. Also, it seems like someone stole away Everton's fight as they lost their 5th match in their last 7 winless matches. There's 2 draws in there, is basically what I'm trying to say. No wins. That's no wins in their last 7 matches. Claude Puel got off to a good start with his new Leicester City side, as they got their 2nd straight Prem win, 3rd straight across all competitions, and they move up to 11th. What crisis? I mean, we're still very much sorting out the hierarchy of the table, you know, figuring out who's at the top, who's a middle of the table team, and who's at the bottom, as there's only 5 points separating 18th place Everton from 9th place Southampton. There's still a long way to go, people. Oh, and we gotta give love to Brighton, who are now undefeated in their last 4 Premier League matches. Hey. Okay, Serie A, where after 11 matches, Napoli are still killing it at the top of the table, as they took care of Sassuolo with ease to make this the best start to a season out of all the teams in the top 5 leagues. Granted, they've played 11 matches and a lot of teams have only played 10, but still, 10 wins, 1 draw, 31 points. Wow.
The 3-1 win also ensured that they have scored 3+ goals on 10 different occasions this season, thanks in part to Dries Mertens, who has scored more Serie A goals since the start of last season than any other player. But Immobile has gotta be hot on his heels, as my guy Ciro grabbed a goal, of course, as well as a hat-trick of assists, making him the first player in the top 5 leagues to get a hat-trick of goals and assists this season. And he's now leading the Serie A in both goals and assists.
Also in the Serie A, Juventus went away to AC Milan to take care of them quite handily with a 2-0 win thanks to a Gonzalo Higuain brace. After 153 matches in the Serie A, those 2 goals took him to the century mark. That's 100 goals. And this is the second league that he's reached 100 goals in, as in the La Liga. Almost wanted to call it the Serie Liga. That's not right. But in La Liga, he has 107 goals after about 190-ish matches, I think. So he has a pretty good run going. Granted, in La Liga, he was a lot younger when he started, so of course it's going to take him some time to find his feet. But anyway, that win away to AC Milan means that Juventus has won 4 of their last 5 away matches to AC Milan. They ain't scared a shit. Okay, moving on to España. And it's pretty much as you were at the top of the table, with Barcelona grabbing another victory, this time away to Athletic Bilbao. Paulinho scoring his 3rd La Liga goal of this season, so he's second in scoring behind Lionel Messi, which begs the question, what has happened to Luis Suarez? He's still class, it's only a dip in form, but it's definitely been a bit of an off start to the season for him, as he only has 3 goals and 2 assists from 10 appearances. But I'm sure that he'll take solace in the fact that Real Madrid is now 8 points behind them, as Real failed to win for the 4th time this season in La Liga. Real Madrid has never won a La Liga title after falling 8 points behind the leaders. And the team that dealt them this harsh hand, Girona, were the first home team to beat them in La Liga since February 22nd. But back to second place Valencia, as they are still unbeaten in La Liga, and their front 2 of Rodrigo and Simone Zaza are looking lethal, my friend. As Simone Zaza has scored 9 goals, while Benfica legend Rodrigo Moreno has scored 6 and assisted thrice. It's nice to see Valencia doing well again, as they haven't really hit their heights since that 2004 UEFA Cup win back in the day. And with the struggles they had with guys like Gary Neville managing the club, oof. It's good to see them winning games again, and back up at the top of the table, fighting where they belong. Speaking of being back up where they belong, in the Bundesliga, everything is back to normal. Sort of, at least back to where they were last season, as
Borussia Dortmund failed to win once again. Well, Adrian's prediction of Peter Bosz not being up to snuff for them could yet come true. It's still early though, they can turn it around, as they are still only 3 points behind Bayern Munich. The team that dealt Dortmund the 4-2 death blow was Hannover 96, newly promoted Hannover 96, who are sitting pretty in 4th place after getting their 2nd win on the spin. Bayern hosted RB Leipzig, and man, they're looking good again with Jupp Heynckes at the helm. Their home form continues to impress, as they are undefeated in 27 Bundesliga matches and have scored in their last 60 home matches, the longest scoring run since 1982.
Alright, to Liga, and if you're building a team of informed players, you know, guys like Ciro Immobile, then you would have to include Lyon captain Nabil Fekir, as he has been involved in 17 goals in his last 16 Ligue 1 matches, with 12 goals and 5 assists, and this season in Ligue 1, he has hit 8 goals and dealt out 4 assists. His double over Metz ensured that they stayed within touching distance of AS Monaco, who won 2-0 away to Bordeaux, even without top goal scorer Radamel Falcao. But who needs him when you have Keita Balde-Diao, who scored his 2nd goal in 2 matches, taking his involvement in goals to 4 in his last 4 matches. PSG did win, however, so they maintain their 4-point lead at the top of the table, as they also hold on to their 100% home win record for this season in Ligue 1, as they hosted Nice and they slapped them up. Without Neymar, the suspended Neymar. I was really hoping that Nice would inject a little more competitiveness into this Ligue 1 season after they had such a great season last year. But I guess losing some important players, it's inevitable that you're gonna tail off a little bit. Thankfully though, guys like Marseille and Lyon are keeping it competitive at the top. Not to mention Claudio Ranieri's Nantes, who sit in 5th place right now, 1 point behind Marseille. And to be honest with you, I think that's about all you need to know from this weekend's football action from the top 5 leagues across Europe. If you learned something neat, why not drop a like for us? And besides that, you have yourself a lovely day. Bye now.